Welcome, dear listeners. Have you ever wondered why camels have humps on their backs? Is it just for storing water? Or is there a deeper story behind it? Today, we'll take you back to a time when the world was new, when animals were just beginning to work for humans, and one very lazy camel was about to get a lesson he'd never forget. This is the story of How the Camel Got His Hump, written by Rudyard Kipling. A story filled with charm, wit, and a timeless message about work, laziness, and consequences. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Lazy Camel. In the beginning of time, when the world was young and fresh, there lived a camel in the middle of the howling desert. He was big and tall, with long legs and a long neck, and most importantly, a smooth back, without any hump at all. The camel lived all alone, and he did not want to work. He would just sit in the desert, minding his own business, and when anyone asked him to do something, he would simply reply, "Huh." That was all he ever said. Not yes, not no, just huh. Chapter 2. The Hard-Working Animals. Nearby, there were other animals working hard for man. There was a horse who galloped across the plains and carried people and goods. There was a dog who fetched and guarded and stayed loyal. There was an ox who pulled heavy carts and helped plow the fields. But the camel, he refused to help, so the horse came to him and said, "Camel, won't you come and trot like the rest of us?" The camel said, "Humph," and stayed where he was. Then the dog came and said, "Camel, come and fetch and carry like the rest of us." The camel replied, "Humph," and stayed in the sand. Finally, the ox came and asked, "Camel, come and plow like the rest of us." But again the camel said, and turned away. Chapter 3. Trouble in the World. The three animals were very upset. They went to man and complained. "Sir," said the horse, "there's a creature in the desert who won't work." "Humph," said the camel again when man tried to speak with him. Because of the camel's laziness, the horse, the dog, and the ox had to do extra work. And that wasn't fair. Man didn't know what to do, but someone else had been watching all along. Chapter 4. The Arrival of the Jinn. Now, in the world of this story, there were powerful spirits called jinns. They were in charge of all the deserts and wild places. The jinn of all deserts heard about the lazy camel and decided to investigate. He flew across the sands and found the camel sitting under the sun, doing nothing. "Camel," said the jinn, "why aren't you working like the others?" The camel replied, "Humph." "That's your only answer?" asked the jinn. Said the camel again, with no respect at all. The jinn frowned. "You have wasted 3 days. That means the other animals had to do your share." "Humph," the camel said once more. Chapter 5. The Curse of the Hump. The jinn had heard enough. He raised his magical hand and spoke a spell. Right before the camel's eyes, his smooth back started to puff and swell, growing bigger and rounder until it became a large hump. The camel looked behind and shouted, "What's that on my back?" "That's your hump," said the jinn calmly. "Because you didn't work for 3 days, your hump will help you work 3 days without eating or drinking." "But how can I trot?" asked the camel. "You will learn," said the jinn, "and no more humph unless you want more trouble." And with that, the jinn disappeared into the wind. Chapter 6. A New Beginning. From that day on, the camel had a hump on his back. He still looked proud, but he had no choice now. He had to work like the rest of the animals. The horse no longer needed to carry double loads. The dog could rest once in a while. The ox could pull with less strain. And the camel? Well, he finally joined the others and learned the lesson he had ignored before. Even today, camels carry heavy loads across deserts for days. All thanks to the hump. Conclusion: the lesson of the hump. So, what does this story really tell us? Sometimes when we try to avoid responsibility, others have to suffer. But in the end, nature, or life, finds a way to balance things out. The hump wasn't just a punishment, it was a symbol, a reminder that every action has consequences, and that no one should think they are above hard work. And just like the camel, we all have to learn, eventually, that we are part of a bigger world, where effort and teamwork matter. So next time you feel like saying, to your duties, remember the camel, his lonely desert, and the day he got his hump.